You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. Right now at 7, a fatal crash near Columbus claims the life of a Joplin woman. And 2 people have died in an officer-involved shooting in Kansas City. And we've got ourselves a chilly and foggy start to our Monday. How long will the cool weather last? We'll have that answer coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. I'm Chris Warner, just after 7 a.m. on this Monday morning. A Sunday afternoon crash in Cherokee County takes the life of a Fort Worth man. Authorities received reports of a motorcycle crash on a rural road near Southwest 20th and Greenlawn Road, just south of Columbus. Preliminary information reveals a dirt bike was traveling eastbound on Southwest Greenlawn Road when the driver struck a dog, causing him to lose control of the motorcycle. Cherokee County Ambulance rushed the driver to Mercy Maud Norton Hospital in Columbus, where he was pronounced deceased. Next of kin have been notified. An Aurora woman is dead following a crash near Mount Vernon. It happened Saturday morning near Missouri Highway 174, just 4 miles east of Mount Vernon. Authorities say 38-year-old Pamela White was traveling west when she veered off the roadway, hit a tree, and then overturned. White was pronounced dead at the scene. A head-on crash near Columbus claimed the life of a Joplin woman. It happened after 4 on Friday. Authorities responded to the crash on US 160, about 6 miles west of Columbus. They say a pickup left the right side of the road and hit a car head-on. The driver of the car, 67-year-old Violet Knowles of Joplin, was pronounced dead at the scene. The driver of the truck suffered minor injuries. A passenger in the truck was seriously injured. 2 people have died in a shooting that involved a Kansas City, Missouri police officer. On Friday night, the Missouri Highway Patrol said a Kansas City police officer called for assistance. After arriving on scene, police discovered 1 officer and 5 people. 3 of the 5 had gunshot wounds, according to the Missouri Highway Patrol. An adult male was pronounced deceased. 2 others were taken to the hospital where a woman later died. A man was treated for minor injuries. It's unknown at this time what led up to the shooting or who fired the shots. No officers were injured. Now we've got ourselves a foggy start across the area. We've also got a pretty chilly start. So let's take a quick look at our forecast. As we head into this afternoon, we're looking at mostly cloudy to just straight up cloudy skies. And then as we head later into the afternoon, we'll start to see a few scattered showers out there. And these are going to be isolated to widely scattered at best. But as we've mentioned, some rain's better than no rain at this point. We go into 8 o'clock, still holding on some scattered showers, and these will actually persist with us to right before sunrise on Tuesday before we'll see them exit out, and then that will start to see begin the trend of much warmer temperatures. We got widespread patchy fog across the area, and we've been talking about Jasper, Newton, Lawrence, Berry, parts of McDonald, Ottawa, and Delaware counties seeing some of the densest fog out there. So if you're on I-49, I-44, Highway 60, Highway 59, parts of Highway 69, you definitely need to slow down. Looking at MoDOT's Metro cams around the city of Joplin, you can see some showing some of that fog, others not so much. We're also starting to see it lighten up a bit. You can see plenty of fog on the KDOT camera at 69 and East 520th Avenue, just south of Pittsburgh. And from our camera here at the KOAM studios just north of Crestline, you can see some of that denser fog out there. So that's the other thing, is this is patchy, dense fog. So you may run into a clear area and then not see that much. Sitting at 61 in Joplin right now, west breeze at 3. Quick look at temperatures around the area: 59 Nevada, 61 Pittsburgh, Parsons, Miami, and 60 in Neosho. We're looking at highs today right around the mid-70s, overnight lows upper 50s. Then we start to warm up. We go into the mid-80s by Wednesday, low 90s by this weekend, with a couple of additional scattered thunderstorm chances. Drivers in Philadelphia are anticipating extensive delays and detours after a portion of I-95 collapsed Sunday, stopping traffic in both directions. Naomi Ruckham has a look at the damage and how long it could take to repair.
The view from above shows a chunk of I-95 buckled onto the roadway below.
The northbound side of I-95 has completely collapsed, and the southbound side is not structurally sound to carry any traffic over it.
Authorities say the damage was caused by a massive fire Sunday morning. A tanker truck carrying 8,500 gallons of gasoline burst into flames, sending pillars of thick black smoke into the air.
There's thousands of pounds, tons really, of steel and concrete that are on top of where the origin of the fire was.
At least one vehicle was trapped, though there were no immediate reports of injuries. Mark Fusetti crossed that portion of the highway earlier Sunday morning, not long before it collapsed. He recalls hitting what felt like a bump in the road.
Felt like going off a curb, too. That's how low the highway was when I went over it.
Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro says it will take months to fix the damage to a portion of a highway that carries 125,000 vehicles each day. In the meantime, drivers are being rerouted to side streets and bracing for delays.
Local traffic's going to be horrible. Everybody's going to be backed up. Everybody's going to struggle to get anywhere that they have to go.
There are also environmental concerns about the potential for thousands of gallons of fuel to leak into the nearby Delaware River, though authorities believe most of the gas was confined. Naomi Ruckham, CBS News.
Governor Shapiro plans to issue a disaster declaration to help expedite funds for repairs. National Transportation Safety Board is sending a team to investigate the incident. Show us how to not only make frosting, but also how to properly frost the sugar cookie bars that she's been working on. Plus, how new laws are affecting the LGBTQ plus community.
Pride festivities in Florida are feeling the weight of a series of new laws. I'm Cristian Benavides with the fear some drag performers are feeling amidst the growing anti-LGBTQ sentiment.
We'll be right back, but first we got another live look from the Superman Museum in Carterville in honor of Superman Day. Good morning and welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. After some TV magic, we've done sugar cookie bars. And of course, you need some frosting to go right along with those, right?
We do. So quick recap on this. We sprayed our pans really well with a baking spray, not a cooking spray. There is a difference. And that recipe fills 2 of these 8-inch square pans. So I portioned that out, spread it out nice and even. We baked that in our 350-degree oven for about 30 minutes. So while these are cooling, we're gonna have time to make our frosting. And it's super easy. I just started with a stick of butter, half a cup, and that's nice and soft, room temperature.
Okay.
Again, not melted. Big difference between softened and melted.
Right.
Very important difference. We added 2/3 of a teaspoon of vanilla, and I just creamed that together so it's really nice and fluffy, and it just starts to really take this sort of creamy, looks like frosting.
It does.
Slowly
It looks really good.
add that powdered sugar unless you like to clean up messes. So again, this is not going to be something we let you do.
No, I'm not going to jinx this time.
We're not doing that. But we just slowly add that powdered sugar until it gets a nice texture to it. And then I've got a little bit of heavy whipping cream. And this sort of just becomes this little bit of back and forth of like a little bit of powdered sugar, a little bit of cream, a little powdered sugar, a little cream. And unfortunately, the bad part is you have to do like a little bit of taste testing, like a little bit of sampling with that to see if that's what you're qualified for.
Okay, I can do that.
If you think that is about right. It's going to be sweet, it's going to be creamy, a little buttery.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Little buttery, yeah.
Little buttery.
Not bad.
So we just get that all nice and mixed up until it's really thorough. You don't want to leave anything left in there. And again, a little bit of a yellow tint to it because we use that pure butter. This isn't a type of frosting that we really decorate with. This is a type of frosting that we're going to put on, something that's just smooth and simple. So I'm going to take one last little shot here with my mixer and clear off my beaters. He's not super loud, so it's not too bad. And pop those off of there.
All right.
Get that out of the way. And again, just kind of make sure we've got nothing left in that bowl as far as any dry pieces. And the easiest way to work with frosting, maybe a little intimidating again, but it's going to be some type of a piping bag. And that doesn't have to be like a traditional style. It can be something as simple as a heavy duty freezer bag or something to that effect.
Gotcha. You can cut the corner off of one of those.
Exactly. Cut the corner off. Make sure it's a heavy duty one because it's got to be able to squeeze that without just making, again, another mess. So as much as we love cleaning up those messes, but We're going to just take that, we're going to add that to our bag of whatever kind that is. And I've got a simple little tip on here that we're going to make it look a little bit pretty. And this is just, I don't know how well you'll be able to see this because it's kind of small, but it's just a very simple sort of little serrated into that tip. We would call it like a star tip. So it's got a little bit of groove on the end of it. Gives a little bit of texture. So that looks kind of cool, and we're going to decorate with that a little bit. So when we come back, this should be really good and cool. We're going to turn it out of the pan, cut those bars into squares, and then we'll add our decoration on the top, and we'll go to town. This will make them look like something we can take to that 4th of July party or to, you know, a simple little gathering. Even makes a nice little gift. You can box them up.
Yeah, I like these. This is looking pretty good. So, well, like you said, we'll finish this up here in just a couple more minutes, and we'll have another check your forecast right after this. News, just wanted to really quickly recap the fog that we're seeing. As you can see on the metro cams around the Joplin area from MoDOT, it's starting to clear up a bit. Still some fog here on the KDOT camera at 69 and East 520th Avenue, just south of Pittsburgh. And still some fog on our camera here at the KOAM studios, of course, just north of Crestline in Kansas. All right, our camera, 7th and Range Line. You can see that fog in the distance. So that's the other thing, is this is patchy. So just make sure that you watch out. You may run into some fog, then it clears out, and then you run into some additional fog right down the road. We're sitting at 61 in Joplin, mostly cloudy, still a little bit on that cool side. Still cool temperatures around the area. We've got 57 Iola, 61s in Chanute, Neodesha, Parsons, and Independence, as well as Miami, Lamar, and Pittsburgh. 62 Chautauqua, 60 in Neosho, and 57 in Monette. We get our morning started. We're looking at mostly cloudy skies through the morning. Not mid-80s by late morning. We're talking upper 60s by late morning, which means today is going to be a relatively cool day. This is perfect temperatures. If it could just be like this year round, I think everybody'd be fine with that. We've got mid-70s today, cloudy skies through the afternoon. As we head a little further into the afternoon, evening, and overnight hours, we'll start to see some scattered showers across the area. These are going to be isolated to widely scattered at best, so not a ton of rain, but at least some rain out there. And it's going to be another chilly evening as we drop back into the upper 50s. After this, though, summer returns because the official first day of summer next Wednesday. So we're going to go into the near 80, upper 70s tomorrow, mid 80s by Wednesday, isolated storms Thursday, Friday, maybe even on Father's Day. But look at those temperatures continuing to climb, low 90s. And then as we head toward the first day of summer, by golly, Mother Nature is going to tell us it's summer as temperatures climb into the upper 90s, pushing near 100 for our afternoon highs next week. It's kind of crazy. We're going to go from 76 to 97 in just 9 days. Well, 7 years ago today, a gunman in Orlando killed 49 people at a gay nightclub. Now, many in the state's LGBTQ plus community say threats against them are worse due to a host of new laws. Christian Bienvenides explains how fears over safety have led to the cancellation of some Pride events.
I have to confirm, are there any children in the audience?
Pride Month in Florida looks very different this year. A new state law prohibits nearly all drag shows where children might be present, so performances have gone inside.
It's not illegal to be gay.
But organizers of a Pride event in St. Cloud canceled their festivities after this traffic sign appeared in nearby Orlando. Hacked to read "Kill All Gays," the organizers also blame other new anti-LGBTQ laws, saying an event in this environment would put our community at risk.
It just puts targets on our backs.
Sherlyn Matthews, Twyla Holiday, and Maya Buena Matthews were scheduled to perform.
With the government passing legislation that kind of gives people the right to discriminate even more.
Fuels the fire,
yeah,
for sure.
Definitely.
Pride pushback nationwide has grown increasingly hostile this year. A scuffle broke out at a recent book reading about different kinds of families at this California elementary school.
Hard to imagine how fast and how cruel this backlash has come. We weren't expecting this.
A growing number of states are considering new laws that target LGBTQ rights. Those who support them say it's about protecting children.
Children should not be allowed to come to these events because they'd be scarred for life.
But the performers believe it's part of a larger effort to erase the LGBTQ community.
We're here. We've always been here, and we're not going anywhere, and you will not silence our voice.
They plan to perform all month at other Pride events in communities where they feel safe. Christian Benavides, CBS News, Miami.
In addition to targeting drag shows, the recently signed bills in Florida include restrictions of discussions of personal pronouns in schools and force people to use certain bathrooms. They also place a ban on gender-affirming care for minors. That measure, though, was just temporarily blocked by a federal judge who ruled the ban prohibits treatments even when medically appropriate. We'll be right back after this, but first, get another live look from the Superman Museum in Carterville in honor of Superman Day. Well, we've made some cookie bars and we've made some frostings. So all we need to do now is frost the cookies. So I'm not a professional froster, and as I've managed to somehow jinx us this morning, we're going to let the professional, Lori Horton,
we're prepared.
handle this.
We've got our bars. I turned them out of my pan. Not a requirement. If you were going to just send them out and you can use these disposable pans, leave them in there. But sometimes it's a little easier to cut on things like this if you turn them out of the pan and pop them back.
True.
Also, always good to have a serious knife. So we're going to go ahead and take one more lop off of this. Again, this is an 8x8 pan, so I'm just cutting them into 9 pieces. So you still have like a nice, generous size bar without, too big, too small. I do want to note that this particular batch right here I made, there's a thing that exists that is a cinnamon toast crunch cake mix. So we put that together and you can smell the cinnamon on that. It's awesome. So I've got that frosting in my piping bag, again, your Ziploc bag, whatever you're going to use. Cut that corner off of there, and you just want to be really gentle with this because you don't want to overdo it.
Right.
Couple options.
Kids, on the other hand, may want to overdo it.
Kids,
but to make them look good, make them all right, you don't want to overdo it.
You don't want to overload it. You want to get a good balance between how much frosting and how much cookie you've got going on there. So just kind of gone back and forth a little bit with a nice even layer.
Perfection.
And then you can come back and you can add some little sprinkles on there. If you want to tint your frosting, you can do that as well.
Okay.
If you add sprinkles, make sure you do it right away because your frosting kind of crusts a little bit on top. So you want to put that on there while it'll stick to it, and you get a pretty little sparkly design on there, kind of like what we've got on our sheet here. But if you want to add that color to it, pro tip on that, don't use the little liquid colors like you tint Easter egg dye with. You want to use like the paste colors that are thick. They almost are like a jelly.
Okay.
They're really concentrated, so they don't change the proportion of liquid in your frosting. They don't change that texture of it, but they give you a really good color.
Okay.
So you can add that to it. That's pretty easily available, readily available everywhere. But you can come to these, so we can decorate those with some colored frosting. We can mix those up a little bit for season. And again, just kind of come back on those with those sprinkles if you want to in colors, and get them all fixed up that are perfect for gifting or for those holiday events that we all have, I'm sure, on our calendars coming up for 4th of July parties and everything for the summer. These would be great for an outdoor party because they don't have to be refrigerated. So they're going to be perfect if you're taking the kids to the park or maybe a pool party. A really good one for that. And you can change up that cake mix flavor to whatever you want. So you can make them chocolate, you can make them strawberry, lemon, cinnamon toast crunch.
Yeah.
Whatever sounds good.
That's an excellent option right there.
So a lot of flexibility on that one too.
Yeah, a lot of great options. Pretty easy to put together, and like you said, great for different parties and things. And I think the best part is they don't need to be refrigerated.
Exactly. And I even took, this is a good one to do them up a little ahead of time. Just wrap them, bag them, and freeze them. So do them up as you have time. Pull them out when the kids are ready.
All right. Lori, thank you so much for stopping by this morning.
Always.
Of course, if you missed any of this, we're going to have it on our website later this morning at KOAMnewsnow.com. Look at those. Don't those look delicious? So we will be back with more of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. It is currently 7:28. Well, the state of Missouri has released data from a survey of substitute teachers. The data shows districts statewide are struggling to fill substitute roles, even though the state lowered educational requirements to become a substitute. Now, the survey doesn't show exactly what the problem is, but does provide at least some clues. Some experts say low pay could be a major factor, as well as not receiving enough support. State officials hope the survey will urge lawmakers to do more to resolve the issue. Oklahoma lawmakers are heading back to the Capitol today for a special session to override some of Governor Kevin Stitt's vetoes. Those include extensions to tribal compacts on motor vehicle registration and tobacco tax collections. There appears to be enough votes to override those vetoes. Lawmakers could also discuss other bills that failed this legislative session. As the bear population in Missouri continues to grow, so do the chances of a bear encounter. So the Missouri Department of Conservation has some information in case of a bear encounter. Number 1, allow the bear an escape route. Number 2, back away slowly with your arms raised. Number 3, speak calmly and don't turn away from the bear. And number 4, don't run. You also need to report all bear sightings to the Missouri Department of Conservation. Make sure to check out this full article over on our website. That's KOAMnewsnow.com. All right, so we got that foggy, cool start this morning. Looking at mostly cloudy skies through the morning, upper 60s by late morning. We head into the afternoon, highs today cooler into the mid 70s under those mostly cloudy skies. Then we'll start to see a few scattered, isolated showers across the area. They'll go on through the late afternoon, evening, and even into the overnight hours before clearing out before sunrise. Lows tonight back into the upper 50s. This cool weather doesn't last, though. Temperatures rising into the low 90s by this upcoming weekend. And we do have a couple of chances of some showers Thursday, Friday, and again on Father's Day morning. Well, the Pitt State Festival of the Arts kicked off on Sunday. It's a week-long series of free concerts in nearby venues and at PSU. It was organized by the Pittsburgh State Music Department and local businesses, as well as the Bicknell Family Center for the Arts. The festival will showcase different genres of music, including jazz, brass, Latin, chamber music, and a lot more. There will also be an exhibit at the Bicknell Center featuring portraits of renowned entertainers from the collection of the Jim Halsey Company.
Every major city around the world actually have at least one, if not several festivals going on through their cities for their community. We actually wanted to start this 11 years ago. So this is the 11th season, 11th edition of the festival.
The exhibit will be open through Friday from 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. every day. Well, the Spiva Arts Center in Joplin hosted Arts on Tap over the weekend, an event catering exclusively to adults 21 and over. The event aiming to celebrate the Spiva members. The evening was filled with live performances, interactive installations, and an array of craft beers on tap. The celebration seeks to foster a sense of community while showcasing the vibrant arts scene within Spiva.
Showing appreciation to our membership is so important. They are what makes Spiva Tech. They're the lifeblood behind what we do. The artists, the members, community can all come out and support Spiva, and they do that throughout the year, and so we love to be able to give back to them every year with this event.
More than 200 members attended the event. Bridgman's Blueberry Farm in Webb City celebrated its highly anticipated opening day for this year. Families and berry enthusiasts flocked to the picturesque farm to handpick blueberries from the abundant bushes. Bridgman's Blueberry Farm's opening day marked the beginning of a fruitful season, uniting the community in a shared love for berries.
Everything mowed really nice, everything's super clean and easy to do, and it's really important for people to see where their food comes from. And they're used to seeing it in the store, but they don't really understand where it comes from and the work that it takes to get it. And so there's nothing better than being able to provide that for the community.
More than 500 people picked berries over the opening weekend. Well, this morning, we're discussing staging protests and walkouts. Multiplayer online game League of Legends is close to the top of the heap of competitive gaming, but may have to cancel its Summer League Championship event after players voted to walk out of the competition. This comes as Riot Games and team owners said they were going to stop funding NACL, essentially the game's North American minor league where teams draw new pros. Players Association is concerned that it would leave not only a deficit of talent, but people could lose their jobs. In response, Riot Games has postponed the competition by 2 weeks, while also threatening to cancel the entire thing if no resolution can be made. And that brings us to our question for you this morning. does staging walkouts or protests actually cause change? So far, 42% of you say that they do, and 58% of you say that they don't. And again, as we've discussed, it's one of those things that also depends on the situation, what's going on, and exactly what kind of protest or walkout you're doing. So make sure you take time to vote through our website, through our app, and take part in the discussion on our Facebook page. And that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. She may have lost her cousin tragically, but one girl is turning her tragedy into something positive. Plus, we've had some fog this morning, and we've got cloudy skies, and it is cool. We'll take another look at that forecast. But first, got another live look from the Superman Museum in Carterville in honor of Superman Day. Well, it's been almost 5 years since Molly Tibbetts disappeared while on a jog near her home in Brooklyn, Iowa. A month later, the man later convicted of killing her led police to her body. Because one of the last things she did was go for that run, her family is keeping her memory alive by doing just that. Libby Randall reports.
Running obviously was something that Molly loved, and that was something that we shared.
Morgan KOAM has plenty of miles under her belt in the many years she's been a runner. But running took on a whole new meaning for her after her cousin was killed in 2018 while out on a run of her own.
That, along with the day she went missing, are the two days that I dread the most, you know, and so that's why I'm doing these miles to try to be proactive with the 5-year anniversary of her death.
She runs year-round, and she says each run means something to her. But this summer takes on an even more significant meaning. That's why she is pledged to run 100 miles for Molly, and she's recruiting others to do the same.
Even if I get 4 other people, including myself, hey, that's 500 miles that we're, run in honor of Molly.
In the few days since sharing her efforts on Facebook, more than 150 people have shared the post. Others are commenting their commitment to Miles for Molly.
Even if Molly wasn't your daughter or your cousin or your friend, you still felt that sense of community and like, hey, one of us is hurt, we all come together.
Now, some have commented saying they will run, bike, swim, or walk to honor Molly. KOAM says she is overwhelmed by the support that has come from all across the country. We've got some fog still around the region, starting to lessen up a bit, but nonetheless causing some visibility issues. We'll take another full look at your forecast when the KOAM Morning News returns. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. It is now 7:41 on this Monday morning. We're going to have ourselves a mostly cloudy day as we head through the morning and into the afternoon hours. And then, as we head later into the afternoon, we'll start to see a few scattered, isolated showers across the region. And these will persist. And as you can see, they'll be isolated, widely scattered out there. So we're not talking a ton of rain, but at least a little bit of rain. And they're going to hold on with us even into the overnight hours, though. And again, they'll be widely scattered. But right before sunrise tomorrow, they should clear out of here. And that's going to lead for us to actually warm up. As we take a look at the fog, you can see it's really starting to improve across the area. Still some denser fog right around Joplin, Miami along the I-44 corridor, but it is improving as we go through the day. Look at MoDOT's Metro cams around Joplin. You can see some of that fog on the 7th and Garden Grove camera. And you can see a little bit of it off in the distance from 20th and Rangeline, but again, looking a lot better than where we have. Even the KDOT camera at 69 and 520th Avenue, just south of Pittsburgh, you can still see the fog out there, but it's looking better. And same from our camera here at the KOAM studios. Of course, we're just north of Crestline, and you can see there's still fog out there, but it is beginning to burn off. Same from our camera at 7th and Rangeline. Still there, but we're starting to lose it. Mostly cloudy, 62, so a pretty cool start out there for us in Joplin. Northeast breeze at 6. Temperatures around the region, 61 Nevada, 60 Iola, 63 Parsons, Chatopa, Miami, and 61 in Neosho. We got our morning started. Again, we're looking at mostly cloudy skies, upper 60s by late morning. And as we head into the afternoon, highs today, man, like I said earlier, if it could just be like this year round, I mean, some sunshine be great. We need rain, of course, but just these temperatures, mid 70s for us today. We head into this evening, we'll have those scattered showers, mostly cloudy skies otherwise, and another chilly one for us as we go back into the upper 50s. As we look ahead, though, summertime certainly going to arrive. In fact, it officially arrives next Wednesday. Temperatures climbing into the low 90s as we head toward the weekend, maybe a couple of isolated thunderstorm chances. And as we head into next week toward the official start of summer, you can see temperatures really start to climb. We're talking mid to upper 90s for the first day of summer. Now, here we are with a check of Consumer Watch this morning, and the state of New Mexico has reached a $500 million settlement with Walgreens over its role in the opioid epidemic. The state said Walgreens failed to red flag prescriptions that weren't needed for medical use, and it continued to fill those red flag prescriptions. In addition to the $500 million from Walgreens, New Mexico previously settled with Albertsons, CVS, Kroger, and Walmart for a total of $274 million. Settlement money will be used to help fight opioid addiction. Disturbing news about a popular feature on Tesla vehicles. The autopilot mode appears to be far more dangerous than previously reported. That's according to the Washington Post. And Post analyzed data from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and found drivers who use the autopilot feature were involved in more than 700 crashes since 2019. At least 17 of those were deadly. 11 of those deaths have happened since last May. Tesla CEO Elon Musk has defended the technology in the past. Be careful before you open that text message. The Federal Trade Commission says scams sent through text messaging are increasing and they're costly. Analysis from the FTC shows consumers have reported losing $330 million to text message scams last year. That's more than double what was reported in 2021. The agency says the median loss reported by individual victims was $1,000. Fake bank security alerts turned out to be the most common scam reported to the agencies. Other common scams were messages claiming to offer a free gift, fake package delivery problems. I've received those. Phony job offers and bogus Amazon security alerts. I've seen those ones too, so just watch out there. Did you ever get overwhelmed when you're at the store, unable to find which aisle your item is in? Well, a Walgreens in Chicago may have solved that problem for you. This store has only 2 aisles. It used to offer a typical Walgreens experience, a pharmacy, multiple aisles with multiple items. But now the downtown store just has 2 aisles, and most of the merchandise is intentionally kept out of sight. If what you need isn't on the shelves, you can order at a kiosk and a worker will grab it from the store's warehouse. Walgreens says it's a digital-first experimental store to benefit customers. We'll be back with more right after this, but first, why don't we take a look at the market prices before the opening bell.
Fox 14.
Iowa has earned a spot on the Guinness Book of World Records with a giant inflatable ribbon. The couple who made the balloon say the reason behind it was personal. Jackie Kennan reports.
We went 25 feet, 2.5 inches.
For Dr. Dan Yeager and his wife Janine,
I guess you could say the innovator or the craziness behind this.
this giant pink inflatable ribbon, it's pretty amazing, is more than just a decoration for the Especially For You race.
You have to sew yourself out of this project, and there's only one outside seam.
The pair spent months of long days making it.
It's a 1.9 ounce polyurethane fabric. It was kind of tricky to get.
The idea sparked in August 2020.
That's a pretty emotional subject. Hang on just a minute. Here's the inspiration right here.
Oh, well. After they found out Janine had breast cancer.
Paul Prine has done so much for me and so many people.
Now, they want it to be a way to help and inspire others.
You can't help but want to help.
the Especially for You race is something where the community can just come together and, you know, provide that support, all while raising money for us to be able to offer these screening and diagnostic opportunities for people in need.
What's the official word, Wade? 25 foot, 2.5 inches. So we got the record. If they approve it, we got the record by a couple feet.
Certainly impressive. The 33rd Especially for You race is scheduled for Sunday, October 1st, and organizers are hoping for 16,000 runners and walkers. Here in our area, we've got that fog that we've been dealing with, thankfully starting to clear out, and we're going to see cool conditions and even some rain chances. So let's head into the afternoon, and you can see as we go later into the afternoon, we'll start to see a few scattered showers out there across the area. Will otherwise remain mostly cloudy, and that will help keep us cool as well. Now, these showers, again, will be isolated to widely scattered at best, but you can see they will persist with us. That's 8 o'clock. Here's 10 o'clock. We even go into 2 a.m. We still have some at least scattered showers across the area, so not a ton of rain out there, but some rain's better than no rain. As we head towards sunrise tomorrow, we'll see this start to clear out. Fog, we still have it in areas, but the good news is it's starting to dissipate out there. We've still got some reduced visibilities in Miami, Joplin, right along the I-44 corridor, and even back toward Grove, but we're starting to see some improvements in those visibilities. MoDOT cameras around the Joplin metro area. You can see some of that fog on the one from 7th and Garden Grove. You could see it off in the distance on some of the others, but again, that situation's starting to improve. Still some fog off in the distance from the KDOT camera at 69 and East 520th Avenue, just south of Pittsburgh itself. And from our camera here at the KOAM studios, just south of Crestline, still some fog out there. Otherwise, you can see we're looking at cloudy skies, but that fog progressively burning off, and still some of it in the distance from our camera at 7th and Rangeline. Aside from the fog, we're mostly cloudy in Joplin, 63, so pretty chilly start out there for this time of year. Northeast breeze at 5. Around the area, 61, the Veda, Chanute, 62, Neodesha, 63, Parsons, Chatopa, Miami, and 61 in Neosho. As we get our morning started, we're going to hold on to these cloudy, mostly cloudy skies across the area, and we're going to stay cool. So something I referenced earlier, you know, last Friday, by 11 o'clock, we were looking at temperatures in the mid-80s, and this morning, we're looking at temperatures only making it into the upper 60s. We're going to have another complete look at your forecast the rest of today and the week ahead, as well as the news you need to know right after this. Here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. The Pitt State Festival of the Arts kicked off over the weekend. It's a week-long series of free concerts in nearby venues and at PSU. Festival showcased different genres of music, including jazz, brass, Latin, chamber music, and more. There'll also be an exhibit at the Bicknell Center featuring portraits of renowned entertainers from the collection of the Jim Halsey Company. Young anglers took in a day of fish-filled excitement and educational experiences at the 22nd Annual Kids Fishing Day, which took place at Kellogg Lake in Carthage. The event was exclusively designed for children aged 15 and under, and also provided young participants with the chance to reel in fish while fostering their understanding of the art and science of fishing. Spiva Arts Center in Joplin hosted Arts on Tap, an event catering exclusively, of course, to adults 21 and over. The event aims to celebrate the Spiva members. Evening was filled with live performances, interactive installations, and an array of craft beers on tap. This celebration seeks to foster a sense of community while showcasing the vibrant arts scene within Spiva. And Bridgman's Blueberry Farm in Webb City celebrated its highly anticipated opening day. Families and berry enthusiasts flocked to the picturesque farm to hand-pick blueberries from the abundant bushes. Bridgman's Blueberry Farm's opening day marked the beginning of a fruitful season, uniting the community in a shared love of berries. And we are going to be chilly today, or at least comparatively to where we should be. It's not bad. I love these temperatures. Mid-70s. We'll have mostly cloudy skies through the day. We're going to see shower chances increasing as we head through the afternoon and evening. These are going to be scattered, but at least some of us will see some light rain. Outside of that, we're going to stay mostly cloudy and cool tonight again, dropping back into the upper 50s. But this cool weather, man, you better enjoy it while it's here because it does not last. Temperatures start climbing into the low 90s as we head toward the weekend. Could see a stray shower or storm Thursday, Friday, and possibly Father's Day in the morning. And then as we head toward the first official day of summer, which is next Wednesday, Yeah, look at those temperatures. They continue to climb as we go into the mid to upper 90s as we head toward the middle of next week. Well, a grandmother and her grandson have just completed an epic travel itinerary, and it only took them 7.5 years. With their visit to American Samoa last week, Joy and Brad Ryan just completed their goal to visit all 63 national parks. Officials with National Park of American Samoa said they were grateful to be part of the pair's amazing story. Brad Ryan has been documenting the pair's travels on Instagram, calling the Samoa visit the best place to conclude this epic chapter of Grandma Joy's road trip. Ryan says his 93-year-old grandmother made history as the oldest living person to visit every U.S. national park. The Park Service honored the pair with certificates and a number of other gifts. The idea for the journey came after Grandma Joy told her grandson she had regretted the few trips she had taken in her life up until then. Never turn down that opportunity to take that trip in life, because you never know where it's going to lead you. Well, we want to thank you so much for letting us put the good in your morning. I'll be back with more news and weather today at noon. Have a great morning and an even better day.